Welcome to the video, 9 Strange Things in Bhutan That No One Expected. Dear friends, located in the Himalayas, sandwiched between the world's 2 most populous countries, China and India, the Kingdom of Bhutan is rumored to be the happiest in the world. But how real this video will reveal to you. This is a place where husbands can love their neighbors, wives eat and sleep with many husbands. You will also understand what it is like to have a backward economy and an extremely weak military. And if you go to war, you will be in danger. To discover all about this country with a happy minister, let's explore it right away. Where husbands can love their neighbors. A country where husbands are allowed to have sex with their neighbors and married women are allowed to sleep with another man. Yes, and it's exactly what happens at Bhutan's meal. Adultery, or cuckolding, is a term they never use. Because according to the matriarchal system, wives can marry as many husbands as they want. But a man cannot marry more than 3 wives at the same time. Every 2 wives must have the consent of the first wife to develop. You know, in Bhutan, there is no wedding culture. Just love each other, go back to live together and have children, so very few couples register to get married. Women's husbands are also often brothers in the same family, because when married to the eldest son, the brothers-in-law are assumed to be her husbands by default. When a man grows up and marries a wife, he will also go to live with his in-laws. All property and belongings such as houses, livestock, and land are for girls, not boys. Because women are very highly protected by the state, if the husband only slaps his wife lightly, he can also be imprisoned. When you are bored of love, you just need to write 1 piece of paper that clearly states the breakup, who raises the children, how much money the husband pays his wife, along with the signatures of 2 husband and wife and 1 witness, then the divorce is over. Currently, Bhutan has also revised its marriage policy to monogamy, but many local areas still maintain the old marriage regime. Next, is the truth about the name of the happiest country in the world true as rumored or just self-delusional? The fact that Bhutan is the happiest country in the world. Bhutan is known to the world as the birthplace and applies the Happiness Index, GNH, as a measure of national progress instead of economic indicators such as GDP. According to the survey, 93.6% of Bhutan's population considers themselves happy people. But in the 2024 World Happiness Report, WHR, Bhutan only ranks 95 out of 143 countries, largely because the country is not wealthy. However, the King of Bhutan said, gross national happiness is more important than gross domestic product. Of course, in their free time, people will spend time enjoying pleasures such as drinking tea, meditating, chanting Buddhist prayers, or picking vegetables and walnuts. They eat very little meat. Vegetarianism is the only dish in the closet. People have a very healthy, moderate lifestyle, sleep and live on time, not like going to bed at 2 a.m. or waking up at 10 p.m. like someone. Besides, people here are hardly interested in the internet, television, or smartphones. Even if they award an iPhone 16 Pro Max, they are not excited. Next is the scene of building a house for free, without locking the door or locking the car. Accordingly, the only thing people have to buy from the market is corrugated iron roofing. The rest is to use natural materials, including stones in the mountains, walnut wood in the forest, and white clay dug by the stream. People in the village, even if they have cars, do not build garages. They park their cars anywhere as if it were their yard without fear of theft. Bhutan also has no beggars, no homeless people. Anyone who has difficulty just knocking on the king's door is receiving help. Specifically, if a person is not homeless, they can go to the king. After that, the king would give them a piece of land to build houses and grow vegetables. The country does not even have a prison because the crime rate is very low. Especially what makes the world learn when Bhutan is one of the countries that is very interested in nature. In 2015, the country reached a record of planting 50,000 trees in just 1 hour. In order to maintain that concept, they set up the Ministry of Happiness to measure the happiness of all people, and the minister will be in charge of helping people feel satisfied with reality. Every Bhutanese citizen accordingly enjoys completely free health care. In 2008, the National Happiness Committee was also established. In the annual census, there is a column for people to answer the question, "Are you happy with your life?" As for you, are you happy? Comment yes or no below the comment section. Surely this country is happy not thanks to money because of the following extremely unstable economy. Bhutan is still happy because of a backward economy. The country, with an area of 47,500 km square, a population of about 750,000 people, all do not care about the changes and development of the outside world. So it is understandable that it is poor. In terms of per capita income in Bhutan, it is only $1,400 per year. The youth unemployment rate here is nearly 30%, and about 1/8 of the people live in poverty. In particular, Bhutanese people do not work all day, only earn enough money to live, and go to the market for a long time. You will also be surprised to learn that 50% of men in Bhutan are monks, and they live in monasteries, whose daily job is only to clean, recite prayers, and pour holy water for domestic and foreign tourists. So corporations such as McDonald's and Starbucks do not dare to come to Bhutan for fear of bankruptcy. The country also does not have a bank that processes online documents, forcing customers to come to work in person. Moreover, they only have 3 embassies in the capital, Thimphu, which means that most international relations need India as an intermediary. Bhutan's currency, the ngultrum, is also pegged to the Indian rupee. After the economy is the military compared to other countries, it hurts for Bhutan. The army is weak and unstable if there is a war. If the economy is weak, the military is not better off when their military strength is ranked at the bottom of the ranking, in the state of 3 zeros. No air force, sporadic few transport planes, but mainly participating in rescue missions. There is no navy because there is no sea, and there are no tanks. The number of troops was very small, only 7,500 troops, mainly consisting of honorary troops and the King's Guards. Participation is also voluntary, and the minimum age to be recruited is 18. Bhutan's defense budget is only about $10 million a year, most of which is used to invest in military uniforms, while Russia is more than $155 billion, accounting for 38.6% of the total state budget. Not to mention that being located between 2 countries that sometimes have conflicts, China and India, constantly rehearsing and deploying troops near the border of their country, a weak country is located between 2 strong countries, so it is also quite insecure. Well, in short, peace can be lived, and Bhutan in battle cannot fight. Don't think that a happy country is not forbidden. There are many. Whatever it is, come with me to this number 5. Things that are prohibited in Bhutan. The first is to prohibit raising chickens, cows, and sheep for slaughter. If you want to eat meat, you can only import meat from India. This is simply because Bhutan has 80% of the Buddhist population, taking Buddhism as the state religion, so the people fasted and chanted the Buddha every day, and absolutely did not kill, and were not allowed to kill even a bug or insect crawling into the hotel room. Even hunting and fishing are no exception to a few areas. Next is the ban on the import of chemical fertilizers. So if you want to eat clean vegetables without spraying, just come here and buy them. In the past, peppers, beans, and cauliflower imported from India have been found with high chemical residues. Hence, the government has imposed a ban on the import of vegetables since 2016. In addition, poultry products, including eggs, were banned in 2012. What few people know is that television and the internet were banned in Bhutan until 1999, when King Bhutan lifted this strange ban. Mark this as the last country in the world to use television. When televisions first entered Bhutan in June 1999, the people of the capital, Thimphu, confessed that they were glued to television screens for at least a few hours a day and became addicted to Indian movies. Since then, television has dominated family conversations and kids are less likely to go out to play. However, because he was so confused at a Bhutanese school, a student broke his arm due to being thrown to the ground by his classmates, just like boxers had performed. Next, to protect people's health, Bhutan was the first government in the world to completely ban the sale and smoking of cigarettes since 2004. All cigarette sellers here will be fined $1,500. If you smoke, you can be sentenced to 3 years in prison. 1 year after the law was introduced, more than 800 people were fined, and nearly half of them were in prison. The first person to go was Sonam Charing, a monk who was arrested for carrying 180 grams of chewing tobacco. This incident has caused outrage across the country. Under the pressure of public opinion, there is a slight change that a person is allowed to buy 300 cigarettes, 50 cigars, or 250 grams of tobacco products from abroad, but must present a purchase invoice. And since you can't buy cigarettes in the country, the price of a cigarette sold in the black markets in this Central Asian country costs $12. As a result, only 1% of people in Bhutan smoke. I agree with this prohibition with 2 arms and 2 legs. In addition, Bhutan also has regulations that require the country to have at least 60% of its territory forested, which means that anyone who cuts down trees without special permission is always severely fined and can even be imprisoned. If you cut down 1 tree, you will have to plant 2 replacement seedlings in that location. So it's no surprise that Bhutan is recognized as the only country in the world with negative carbon emissions. Climbing in Bhutan has also been restricted, banning climbing peaks more than 6,000 meters high since 1994, and then banned completely in 2003. After all, Bhutan doesn't even have traffic lights because they don't want to see insensitive things on the street that communicate with people, and there are always people regulating vehicles at intersections. Warning signs are also life philosophy sentences such as "run slowly, breathe deeply" to love life. That's how they tell drivers to run at the right speed instead of signs. The next type of cuisine makes you drink even a blister of stomach pain. Strange cuisine makes outsiders turn the car. I advise those of you who can't eat spicy foods and hate eating avocados, it's best not to go on a Bhutanese food tour. Why? Because 90% of the dishes here have butter, and people consider chili to be a vegetable. All kinds of dishes from dried chili, fresh chili, sliced chili, green chili, red chili, cooked with Bhutanese cheese. Some of the dishes come from the mouth, less greasy than Chinese and Indian, but spicier than most Tibetan dishes. The first is the shakam pa, which is cooked with beef jerky, shakam white chili, and radish. The special thing is that the chili is cooked whole, not sliced. If you like salted pork, sikam pa will be a great choice. And of course, the spice is still dried chili, a lot of chili peppers. The next surprise was a chili cheese dish called amadachi. Bhutanese people love chili cheese so much that they eat it every meal every day and often add chili and pepper to cook it together. They also make cheese into squares that are hung up for preservation. This dish is called chogo. When eating chogo, it can take up to 45 minutes to finish a ball. Besides, the main food in this country is rice, but not white rice, but red rice, which is quite hard to eat. That's because rice is often difficult to grow in Bhutan, a country with the world's highest average elevation of 3,280 meters above sea level. The highest peak of Gangkar Puensum is 7,570 meters. Bhutanese people also love to drink tea. They usually drink black tea and green tea with a pinch of salt, pepper, and a small spoonful of butter. Well, you don't hear me wrong. Tea, but also butter and chili peppers must be added. This fruit in Sichuan province, China participated in the spicy eating contest and was sure to lose. In addition, each Bhutanese adult consumes up to 8.47 liters of alcoholic beverages, which is more than the world average, 6.2 liters. There are more than 5,400 bars here, but on the third day called Dry Day, the Bhutanese government bans bars from selling alcoholic beverages. The important thing is that the top 10 mysteries tell you that it is easy to listen to you online, but it is a little difficult for you to go there. Why will the number 7 tell you to know? Tourism challenges tourists. Although the king has opened the door for tourism, visitors are not allowed to travel to any part of the country. Only one company is licensed to issue visas to visitors, and you need to pay in advance fees such as air tickets, hotels, guide and tour fees, visa fees, insurance. To get a visa, Bhutan also licenses only one airline to operate flights to and from the country. The price of hotel accommodation, both budget and high-end, is decided by the government. To come to Bhutan, tourists have to spend a lot of money, about 300 USD day. If 3 days and 2 nights in Bhutan is a waste of 4 months' salary, friends, it is a waste of money. That is also because this country wants to limit tourists. Many people are overcrowded and no longer make people happy, so it should hit the economy directly. Quality is better than quantity. Even for foreigners who want to settle in Bhutan, it is not easy. Only Bhutanese citizens can buy land, and the only way to obtain Bhutanese citizenship is to get approval from the king. So how strict is this country's clothing regulations? Let's go watch the next video. Unique Bhutanese costumes. While in many other countries, traditional clothes are kept for special occasions, such as Vietnamese ao dai, Korean hanbok, Japanese kimono, traditional clothes in Bhutan are clothes for everyday wear. Accordingly, men's clothes are called go, women's are kira, with a large pocket in front of the chest, not only to hide the fat belly, but it can also hold a phone. All Bhutanese male guides are dressed in go and are required to wear white scarves when entering the forts with guests. Bhutanese people will wear this to work, temples, offices, or formal occasions. For those who work for the government, wearing traditional clothes is mandatory. Moreover, Bhutan is among the few countries where you still see men wearing skirts. Children also have to wear traditional clothes every day to school. Social status is determined by the color of the shawl over the left shoulder. For example, commoners would wear white scarves while nobles and monks would wear yellow scarves. Finally, the indispensable of a country is the rituals imbued with identity. Exotic rituals and special festivals. Friends, during a wedding ceremony in Bhutan, monks will recite mantras that help newlyweds build a strong spiritual connection. Besides, there is the Changfuid ritual, which is offering beer to the gods. The rest of the beer will be brought by the bride and groom to invite guests. After all the necessary rituals are performed, the new couple officially becomes husband and wife. Many of you in the audience here must have watched beautiful Korean girls shoot archery, right? Similarly, the national sport in Bhutan is archery. There is one thing that traditional archery here is different from the standards of the Olympics. The two rival teams each confronted each other, archery towards the opponent. There is usually a lot of food, drinks, along with singing and dancing from the wives and fans for the players. They often try to distract your team by standing around the beer and teasing the athlete's shooting ability. As for the festival, it couldn't be more sophisticated. The first is the New Year's festival called Losar. Still dancing, but at the Tet tray, the dough balls with the filling inside are considered to represent what you will experience during the year. If it's a chili pepper, it means you talk a lot. If it's something white like salt or rice, it means you're a kind person. However, if you see black charcoal inside, understand that your heart is in need of healing. No less solemn is the Jampa Lakang Drup festival. When the clock strikes 12 o'clock at night, a troupe of male dancers will come out of a gate and dance to the rhythm of traditional drums. They will only wear masks and loincloths, and the locals think that this dance will distract the devil. Now that spirituality must be difficult for me to watch because I am asleep. Finally, there is the Chechu festival. The main highlight is the Cham dance, and only men perform. Through their dances, they will express stories of morality and meaningful life. This is also considered a special form of meditation by the people. Today's video ends here. Thanks for watching the video. Please share what you find most interesting about Bhutan in the comments section. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the discoveries of the top 10 mysteries.